When it comes to data-driven insights in a sales organization, one of the best things that people can really do for clean data is something known as deal management. All deal management is using a framework of really taking a hot minute to say, hey, what are the indicators of a successful deal, right? What are the leading and lagging indicators? What shows the health of a deal? How do you measure that? And there's different frameworks out in the market. Metic is one of the most popular. We use Protect, but it's being able to measure deal health outside of being completely subjective, but actually assigning framework and a scoring process to it. It's one of the best ways for organizations to have that data-driven insights that drive business is we've seen deals that are scored for deal health against data and against a framework. They often have a 3x factor of winning those deals. They often are half the time to win the deal. So you cut your time to win down by half. And they tend to be about 70 to 80% larger deals simply by the nature of they're more thoroughly done. They have a framework to follow. They are thoroughly executed. And that involves things like stakeholder management and activities that salespeople kind of know, but they don't formalize. They don't score it. They don't know which is more important than the other. They don't have weighted factors. Almost all sales leaders track the same 4 metrics. They track their win rate percentage. They track their average deal size, they track their sales cycle length, and they track their top of funnel and how much is going into that top of funnel. Pretty much every organization has these 4 metrics. What's fascinating to me is that those 4 metrics can be highly misleading too. What's fascinating to me is I've talked to hundreds of sales leaders, and when they tell me their win rate, usually my first question is, what is that against? Right? Where does that start? Where is the calculation coming from? And oftentimes when people are like, oh, we have a great win rate, we're at like 50% win rate, it's because it is not being calculated until that opportunity is almost at a verbal yes. Having a command of what are these based off of, right? And when does the clock even start? Well, what about the composition, right? What are you winning? Are you winning small deals? Are you winning big deals? One story that comes to mind when it comes to data analytics and improving sales outcomes was a sales opportunity a few years ago, where when we were really looking at the data didn't look that bad on the surface level. Their win rate was in the 60%. Their sales cycles were like 45 days, and everything of like the normal KPIs looked good. This is where data analytics, it's like you have to kind of look beyond the surface. And when we started to dig in, it's like, yeah, they were winning 60% of those deals. Those deals were small. And when we looked at the 40% they were losing, that dollar value was 4 times larger than the dollar value of what they were winning. That's when a bigger picture was told, which is they only sell minimal deals. Those deals are heavily discounted. And from a dollar stance, it really wasn't performing. They were earning low dollar value deals. And as a result, they weren't hitting the revenue goals in spite of all of the superficial KPIs being like, you're doing great. Data reveals a lot about a sales team's performance. We often are thinking of the end all be all is revenue. The end all be all is quota. And there is some truth to that, but it's not the end all be all story. There's more to it. Customer retention is a data point that matters. Are we selling the right composition of deal? Are we attracting the correct clients that we really are successful with? Are we selling in a capacity that we are building a long-term relationship? A lot of revenue leaders, though, they don't particularly look at how that gear, if you will, connects to the other gears of the business. They don't look at how does that gear really truly manifest when it comes to customer satisfaction ratings and really manifest into, well, the customer success motions or delivery or referrals. There's a beautiful expression of an unhappy customer will tell 10 people and a happy customer might tell 1. Everything that you do, whether it's the activity metrics or it's the key performance indicator, it is all about, is this a predictive indicator of revenue? If it's not, then you got to go back to the drawing board. If you're interested in learning more about sales core competency and the DNA assessment, check out thesalescollective.com under the assessments tab.